Bien sûr,
Of
il
course,
s'agit de cela.
it's about that.
Nous avons une mémoire.
But we have an elephant's memory.
Nous n'oublions pas le moindre
We don't
mot.
forget the slightest word.
Vous vous rappelez quand les soldats
Do you remember
français
when the
avaient
French
commencé à
soldiers
quitter
began
notre
to leave our
territoire,
territory?
quand l'ambassadeur français
When the French ambassador Sylvain Ité
avait pensé que c'est toujours
thought that colonization
la
was
colonisation
still
qui
ongoing
continuait et qu'il pouvait défier
and that he could
les
challenge the
nouvelles
new
autorités
authorities,
et que nous l'avons mis à la
and we
porte,
showed him the door,
malgré que son mentor Macron
despite his mentor Macron claiming under every roof
que Ité a été
that
accrédité
Ité
au
was
Niger
accredited
auprès
to
de
Niger
Bazoum,
with Bazoum,
non pas auprès de la
not
République
to the
du Niger,
Republic
mais
of
auprès de
Niger,
Bazoum, et que pour eux, c'est
but to
le
Bazoum,
président.
and for them,
Sylvain
Bazoum
Ité a
is
fini
the
par
president.
partir.
He ended up leaving.
À ce départ,
After his departure,
c'est un agent de renseignement
a French
français,
intelligence agent,
un ancien de la DGSE,
a former
un
DGSE
certain
operative,
Vincent
a
Crouzet,
certain Vincent
qui
Crouet,
est sorti pour dire ouvertement
openly stated
que c'est
that this was an
l'occasion,
opportunity,
après le retrait de leurs forces,
after the withdrawal of their forces and the departure of Sylvain Ité,
de déstabiliser le
to
Niger
destabilize
par des actions
Niger through clandestine actions.
Nous n'avons pas pris ces propos à
We
la
did not
légère.
take these words lightly,
Aucune affirmation ne
and
doit
no
être
statement
prise
should be
à la
taken
légère.
lightly.
Mieux, il ne faisait que
Moreover,
répéter ce qu'il a entendu,
he was only repeating what he had heard from his masters,
notamment le président Macron.
particularly President Macron,
En août, la première quinzaine du
who had
mois,
already initiated in the first half of August 2023
initié une large
a wide
consultation
consultation
pour apporter une réponse
to provide an
corrective,
appropriate corrective
appropriée
response
au
to the
peuple
Nigerian
nigérien
people
et au cas
and the
du
case of
Niger.
Niger.
Suite à ça,
Following
il
this,
a donné des instructions à un
he gave
certain
instructions
Jean-Marie
to a certain Jean-Marie Bockel,
le conseiller Afrique, paraît-il,
supposedly Macron's Africa advisor,
des solutions
to find
et
urgent
en
solutions
pour que le cas
so that the Niger
ne fasse
case does not
encore.
set a precedent.
Après plusieurs
After
mois
several months,
et presque un an,
nearly a year of study,
c'est ce qui a conduit
this
à
led
ce
to the
fameux
infamous
commandement pour
African
l'Afrique.
Command,
C'est le résultat de leur
which is the
nouvelle
result of their new invention
pour mettre les États de l'Afrique francophone,
to bring the states of Francophone Africa in line,
le Niger qui a
with
osé
Niger at the forefront for daring to demand its sovereignty.
le commandement pour l'Afrique,
The African
une
Command
version camouflée des troupes que nous avons,
is a disguised version of the
parce que
troops
c'est
we
un
have
commandement
expelled,
qui se fera avec
as it
une
is a
certaine
command that will be
réorganisation.
implemented with a certain reorganization.
Les troupes qui sont au Tchad,
Specifically, the troops in
particulièrement
Chad,
N'Djamena,
particularly in
seront
N'Djamena,
de leur effectif pour ramener à 350, je dis bien N'Djamena,
will be
350.
reduced to 350
Les
men.
troupes qui sont au Gabon,
The
actuellement,
troops currently in Gabon,
autour de 400,
around
vont être ramenés à une
4,100,
centaine.
will be
Les troupes
reduced to
ivoiriennes,
about
elles, seront
100.
maintenues.
The
Ils ont
Ivorian
dit
troops
qu'ils ont
will
à
be
peu près
maintained.
600.
They said they have about
Ça,
600
c'est leur
men.
problème.
That's their
Ils vont les
problem.
maintenir.
They will
Ils
maintain
vont
them.
créer
They will
deux
create
commandements
two senior
supérieurs
commands,
qui seront un basé à
one
Dakar, au
based in
Sénégal,
Dakar,
et le
Senegal,
deuxième à
and the
Libreville.
other in Libreville, Gabon.
La différence
The difference,
pour verser la poudre aux
to
yeux des
deceive the
Africains
Africans,
consistera dans le
will lie in the
commandement
command,
qui sera
who will be designated,
désigné. Ça ne sera plus des
which will
chefs
no
qui vont
longer be
venir
chiefs
de
coming
la
from the
métropole,
metropolis,
mais ce sont les
but rather
attachés de défense qui vont assurer
defense
le
attachés
commandement.
who will ensure the command.
Et à travers ça,
And through this,
un chef d'état-major au nom d'un certain Pascal
a chief of
Tchiani
staff
a été
named
désigné,
Pascal Yan
et le 4
has been
septembre
designated,
cette année,
and on
le
September 4th of this
commandement
year,
sera fonctionnel avec,
the command
par
will be
position,
operational
50
with a deployment
à
of 50 to
60
60 men, which will increase to 100 or 150 men, with a discrete command, because it will be handled by the defense attachés already present at the embassies, of course, the French embassies. Of course, it's certainly not the case with Niger, and it certainly does not avoid the case of Niger. Therefore, this sick desire to destabilize Niger has spread through the repositioning of all the French DGSE agents we have expelled from our territory. They have been repositioned in Benin. I say it and I repeat it. They have been repositioned in Nigeria. You know the famous Thomas Gulioso, who was the Level 2 station chief here in Niamey, who was only perceived as the security chief of the embassy. He is a French DGSE agent. And what I'm saying is a fact. I will give you a bit of his biography. He was born on July 7th, 1974, in Paris, 18th arrondissement. He holds a PhD in law after completing a diploma of advanced studies in comparative law. This guy held the position of Level 2 station chief at Niamey, and he is not the only one. Others we have expelled from the airbase have found themselves, as I said, in Benin and Nigeria. Thomas's case is verifiable. He joined Nigeria in February of this year. He is currently in Abuja, regularly moving between Kaduna and Sokoto. We are monitoring him and all the other fugitives who are hiding in their village of Ministers' Hills in Abuja. We are monitoring them, and they should be assured that the dark plans they are plotting for Niger will, God willing, backfire on them. This intention of destabilization is certain. The French, disengaging from Niger, have done everything to ensure that they do not leave through Benin, because we know the malicious and malevolent spirit of the French. We demanded that they exit through Chad. What did they do? The first to leave made an appointment with Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists, who are two rival factions in the Lake Chad Basin. This happened between October 25 and 26, 2023. They proposed to these terrorists to wage an open war against the Nigerian state, against the new Nigerian authorities who dared to ask the French soldiers to leave their territory. They did not stop there. God is with the righteous. Boko Haram and ISWAP did not agree, and God willing, they will never agree. They repeated the same maneuver on the night of January 10th, 11, 2024, when they again delivered military equipment via 2 helicopters to Boko Haram terrorists, who seemed more inclined to accept the French troops' proposals. This happened in Kulawa, an island in Lake Chad, about 25 kilometers east-northeast of Bosso. Later, on January 29th, they returned, this time to Butungur, an island about 10 kilometers northeast of Bosso. where they delivered brand new weapons to Boko Haram terrorists. And they recovered the old AK-47s that these terrorists were equipped with. They took measures to erase the serial numbers so that the origin of these weapons could not be traced. These are the kinds of actions that the French have taken and continue to take. We know they have supporters hiding in our cities, here in Niamey, as well as in Agadez, in Maradi, and a little bit everywhere. But they should know that we are monitoring them, and their supporters should be warned once and for all. We are following them, and at the right moment, we will act. We have understood their trap through certain non-governmental organizations, through certain security companies. We have put an end to it. And since they are unlimited in imagination when it comes to causing harm, we will be more imaginative in protecting our country. What they wish for Niger, through their exchanges, their correspondences, their calls with their supporters, their intentions will not succeed. I want to tell you something even more serious. France, on June 16th, exactly, circulated through its intelligence services elements of the DGSE, who are in Benin, circulated the information that Westerners had been kidnapped with their guides in the W Park in Benin. But the W Park in Benin is in the hands of the French. The W Park is in the hands of the French. The DGSE intelligence services are inside the park. We know the activities they are engaged in. And the Westerners they announced to have been kidnapped are a Canadian and a Dane. We know that it is false. First of all, it is not the terrorists' modus operandi. When the terrorists take hostages, they keep everyone. Of course, through negotiations, they release those who are burdensome. That's not what happened with this hostage-taking. They released the Beninese guides and kept the two hostages, so to speak. But we know that they are not hostages. They are specialists in explosives, in guerrilla tactics, and in jungle warfare. These people were taken to the base at Fada, where the Emir Aliasser Mahmoud was located. They trained these terrorists in the use of improvised explosive devices, in guerrilla tactics, in intelligence gathering techniques. After this base, a certain Jules Habu and Sambo Doctoro left with a Toyota Land Cruiser to pick up these two specialists, to take them to another location between the village of Boulel and Bukassi. For those who know this area, it is inside Burkina Faso. These people were still in this position as of July 15th, and they are continuing to train the terrorists, even though the French have portrayed them as being kidnapped by terrorists. So, Who are the real terrorists? This is to give you an idea. Many more acts like this have taken place. We have evidence, not only vocal evidence, but also written evidence to support what we are saying. France is behind this terrorism that is causing grief to Nigerian families. This is a parenthesis. And at the right moment, we are ready to present all the evidence for what we are currently saying. So, this desire for destabilization, Nigerians must understand, is real. There is nothing imaginary about it. It is a will, and France, through its current authorities, will not hesitate to act once Nigerians have lowered their guard. We will not lower our guard. Niger will stand tall, God willing.